Heavy rain triggers more flash flood warnings across Texas. On Monday, heavy rain prompted additional flash flood warnings in parts of Texas as rescue teams continued searching for missing people in Kerr County and nearby areas. AccuWeather meteorologists warned that slow-moving storms will continue to affect parts of central Texas through Wednesday before drier conditions take hold. Despite the potential for more thunderstorms, search and recovery efforts will face challenges due to the intense Texas midsummer heat throughout the week. Drenching thunderstorms remained concentrated over central Texas on Monday, although the core of the storm activity shifted farther north compared to the deadly flooding on Independence Day. The devastating Independence Day flood setup. Flash flooding is more likely in areas where the soil is saturated or infrastructure is damaged. Texas's arid soil and rugged, rocky terrain are especially prone to flash flooding during heavy thunderstorms, as the soil does not retain water as effectively as soils in the Midwest or eastern states. A plume of very humid air from the Gulf of Mexico lingered over the region for several days, fueling random but intense thunderstorms. Meanwhile, a mid-level storm moving eastward from the southern Rockies wrung out this moisture in force. As the storm stalled over the hill country, many inches of rain fell within just a few hours. Dangerous downpours continue into midweek, but less intense. While the mid-level storm has passed, dangerous torrential rain remains a concern through midweek, although the rainfall totals will be much lower than the 10 to 20 inches that fell in several hours late last week. Flood watches covered much of the area from San Antonio and Austin to San Angelo on Monday, with some flash flood warnings still in effect. By Tuesday morning, most flood watches were lifted, though pockets of flash flood warnings persisted in some central Texas counties. There is still concern for additional thunderstorm clusters or flare-ups in parts of central and eastern Texas through Wednesday, said AccuWeather chief on-air meteorologist Bernie Rayno. On the positive side, the atmosphere now holds less moisture than last week, so rainfall amounts are expected to be limited to 1 or 2 inches in the wettest spots. However, storms capable of producing sudden flash flooding and rapid rises on rivers will continue to affect areas recently inundated, as well as some that escaped the worst flooding. Storms to subside later this week, but heat will intensify. By Thursday and Friday, thunderstorm activity is expected to diminish significantly. While isolated pop-up storms could still bring localized flooding, the region will mostly experience typical July heat. For search and recovery crews working outside of thunderstorms, the intense Texas sun and heat will pose a serious challenge. AccuWeather real-field temperatures are expected to reach around 100 degrees F during afternoons on most days. Officials urge crews involved in rescue and recovery to stay hydrated and take frequent breaks to avoid heat-related illnesses. Temperatures will climb through the week, rising from highs near 90 degrees in the hill country on Wednesday to the mid to upper 90s by Thursday through Sunday. Real field temperatures will often be 10 to 15 degrees higher than the actual temperature during peak afternoon hours.